Hey, what's up? This is King Henry.
I'm Daryl Divine Finley.
We want to introduce you to
The Time Talkers Podcast.
real voices
Real conversations.
in all ways.
Right on time.
The Time Talkers Podcast. Time Talkers Podcast. King Henry, Daryl Divine. What's going on, my brother?
What's up, my brother? How you doing, man? Good to see you again.
Oh yeah. Same here, brother. You know how we do, man. You know, again, I'm still scouting after years and years of scouting on that Facebook, looking for inspiration, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, today, you know, we had to bring this sister in, man, and she is a busy one. I must say, she is a busy one. We tried to get her on for a little minute. You know what I mean? And so I'm real thankful that, you know, she chopped away a little bit of time, man. For everybody that's checking out this podcast, man, you want to like just chime in and take note and pay attention. This is something that we're talking today about. You know, if you're into herbs, if you're into natural healing, if you're into, you know, anything organic, you know what I'm saying? This is the podcast you want to be checking out right now.
Absolutely.
You want to talk about this. So without further ado, Sister Ashanti Mama Yas, come on in. And that round of applause. How you doing, goddess? How are you?
Love and life. I'm blessed, never stressed.
There you go.
Welcome to the
There you
show.
go. There
I
you go.
appreciate y'all for having me.
All right, so you all the way out there in Oklahoma?
Yeah, Tulsa, Oklahoma, home of the first Black Wall Street, if you heard anything about that.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's where I'm located, born and raised off of a Reservoir Hill area. So yeah, North Tulsa, that's where it all began.
You know, for some reason, you know, and we gonna get into it, talking about this herbal journey and, you know, natural medicine. Um, Off the back, I just got to ask in your background, what's going on back there? It looked like something healthy happening back there. What's that behind you? Are you growing something back there?
Actually, though, yeah, I have a few things. I don't know what all you're able to see, but I have aloe vera here. I use
Mm.
aloe vera a lot for, hair conditioners myself. I have hibiscus. I have a lot of plants.
Oh.
So what we can
Mm.
find that we can get a lot of benefits and a lot of nutrition from plants. We can even eat
Right.
plants. A lot of these plants, dandelions, things of that nature, they're edible. So yeah,
Mm.
they hold a lot of benefits. So right now you're just seeing me surrounded by plants. I am working on getting some acreage as well. Um, Lord willing, once as I grow, so that I can plant, a whole lot of more herbs and of course foods.
Right. So let me get this right. You saying that these plants can actually, of course, you know, give us nutrition, but these plants can actually give us life, help us breathe better.
Yes, and I'd like to start, if you don't mind. I don't even know how y'all feel about the Bible, but there is a verse in the Bible that speaks to that. I'm an Old Testament girl myself, so I'm not necessarily a Christian, but I do believe that the Bible holds a lot of spell work, a lot of power, a lot of knowledge that we can definitely hold. But it tells us in Genesis 1, um, that God made, well, I'm just going to read it verbatim. He says, I've given you every green plant for food.
Mm.
Um, Anything that bears seeds, basically, this food is for you. So, yeah, any plant
Right.
that God has placed on this earth, there are poisonous plants, quote unquote poisonous, but a lot of them are actual medicine that God has
Right.
given us to be able to, yeah, of course, heal ourselves from the inside out. There was a time where we didn't have hospital buildings to go into. We
There
didn't
you
always
go.
have cancer centers. If you look
Mhm.
around now, there's so many cancer centers on every corner now. We didn't always have that. We had natural herbs. They called them different things. Some people call them healers, herb
Right.
doctors. If you even want to go deep with it, some call them witches, things of that nature. So
Yeah.
these are just simply people that, rather than go to man, they resort to nature to
Wow.
locate their healing.
Wow. Yeah. That's real powerful right there.
Hmm.
Um, What was your beginning? What are some of your humble beginnings? How did you actually get into this practice?
Okay, yeah, definitely. And just cut me off if needed, because I can go. So, I guess my beginning, of course, most of my life I grew up eating meat as normal. We're introduced to meat at a young age. I was
Mhm.
introduced to meat as a young age. The crazy thing about meat is when you take an infant and you're just introducing foods to an infant, and I don't know, do you guys have children?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so you would know then when you're feeding these infants food. Now, when you give them the pears, the applesauce, the peaches, especially the tutti frutti, they love that. They love the fruit. But now, when it comes to giving them meat, they spit
Right.
it out. They hate it. They don't
True.
like it. And
That's
what do
facts.
mothers have to do? We have to take the fruit and mix it with the meat, and
Yep.
basically we're force feeding our infants to
Yep.
eat this meat. But they hate the meat because these children, they just basically are the closest thing from heaven. They've been
Mm.
eating heavenly foods, and now we're introducing them to death. And so I was one of those infants that was introduced to death, so much so by the time I was 32, I already was getting injections in my knees, in my
Mm.
hands for arthritis. I had fibroids. I had low iron. I was getting ready to get a full hysterectomy
Wow.
because of these health issues. And so that's basically what started my journey is I just got tired of doctors playing guinea pig with me. I took my health into my own hands, and
Yep.
that's when I began to study what causes fibroids, what causes anemia, what causes all of these diseases, even down to my arthritis. And it came back every single time to meat,
Mm.
meat, meat. And so that's kind of where I started my journey. I was able to, give up the meat. I didn't know really what was going to happen. I wasn't necessarily doing everything the right way. But I gave up meat, I gave up dairy. And lo and behold, it wasn't even 6 months later
Wow.
that I went back to the doctor. I haven't had arthritis since 2017. This is something they told me I would never be able to
Yeah.
cure myself of. I would always have the rest of my life. I haven't had any arthritis pain since stopping eating meat in 2017. Also, my fibroids, all the issues that I was having alleviated themselves just by those small changes in my diet.
Wow.
So that's how I started this journey. And of course, as with any knowledge, you want to definitely be responsible and impart
Hmm.
that knowledge to other people, because I love people and I want them to experience the same healthiness that I've been able to experience, especially when being told that we're not able to heal certain things that we certainly can heal.
Right. Daryl,
Absolutely.
I know you had a question. I'm gonna hold off.
I
Go ahead.
appreciate that, my
Yeah,
brother.
yeah,
I, I watched a lot of stuff, a lot of things that you put out on your platform, which is Facebook. There was an episode in under which you were in a shopping store. Looks like a Costco's or BJ's or something to that effect, and you were kind of demonstrating how to shop healthy. Is that something that you have? I guess I don't know what the proper word is, but the actual technical training in, or is that just something that you learned and studied to show thyself approved?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, my training comes from the Most High. He's the most knowledgeable. He knows all the answers. So he's honestly, the Bible tells us God gives us everything we need to have a godly life. He gives us all the answers. And so, yeah, definitely, I haven't had training from a doctor per se. I haven't gone to an actual college, but the Most High definitely directs me in what to eat. And matter of fact, I know I'm bringing up the Bible. There's another verse that I did want to actually look into as well that explains exactly what to eat. Do you guys mind if I read that?
absolutely. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
Uh,
sure, no problem.
I already have it right here. It's Deuteronomy, and it's chapter 14. And I'm just going to start with verse 3 because that's where it starts. It breaks down. Now, we already looked at Genesis, where the Most High tells us he created every or anything with seeds, he created for us. But now, after sin supposedly, happened, there was some different practices that took place that we were able to go ahead and eat some additional foods. But there was foods that the Most High claims to be unclean foods. And
Hmm.
here's a list of them right here. I'm just going to show you in my Bible. I don't know if y'all can see that. It literally says clean and unclean foods. It tells you exactly what to eat. Right here, it says, first, it says you must not eat any detestable thing. These are the animals you may eat. And keep in mind, God is giving this specific message to his chosen people, which are African American people. He's letting us know this specifically because he knew there was going to be a time where our oppressors would be poisoning our food, feeding us bullshit and things of that nature. So he already took care of all that. He put it right here, what we should eat and what we shouldn't eat. He says, so these animals you can eat. You can eat ox, sheep, goats. You can eat deer. You can eat gazelle. You can eat wild goats, antelopes. It says you can eat any animal that has hooves so that its feet are divided into two. And you can eat any animal that eats grass, okay?
Right.
But it says now among these animals that have divided hooves, you are not to eat, such as. He's going to list all the animals, y'all. I'm not making this up.
Oh
He's
yeah.
listing all the animals. He says, I don't want you eating camels, rabbits. Although they eat grass, he said they don't have hooves. They are unclean for you. He said pigs, they don't have hooves, and also they don't eat grass. They are unclean. It says, as far as pigs, he said not only don't eat pigs, he says don't even touch them. You're not even supposed to be touching
Right.
dead pigs. And that's
Right.
all you see in the grocery store is dead animals.
Yeah.
Of course, so you're not even, it's unclean. It says you can eat anything from the water that has fins and scales, but you may not eat anything that does not have fins and scales. It is unclean. So it tells us, fish with scales. You have your trout, your bass, your salmon. These type of fish have scales, and these scales protect any poisons and toxins from getting into these animals. Now, when you look at catfish, they don't have any scales. Their skin is open to the water. Shrimp,
Right.
lobster, crab, all of that stuff, crustaceans people are eating, none of that stuff is protected. So that means when people are pouring petroleum in the water, toxins, there's mercury in the water, there's lead in the water, not to mention now with cruise ships roaming all to and throughout the ocean, they're dumping feces and urine
Oh yeah.
and everything that's coming from those cruise ships into that ocean. So we don't want to be eating animals that are being tainted by the oppressor's poisons. That's why the Most High designed these type of species for you to be able to eat and enjoy. Now, I just don't even eat meat altogether.
Right.
Just and that's just me on my journey. This journey you can start it out however you like, but I've just found that for my body, fresh fruits and vegetables are gonna be what's the most beneficial. But yeah, as far as grocery shopping, um, I just stumbled up on eating those ways, up on my journey.
Cool, cool, cool. Another episode. I'm glad you mentioned that biblical verse. Um, there on your page, there is a double bacon cheeseburger. So
Yeah.
I need you to help me with that. Talk to me
Yeah.
about that.
Yes, yes, double bacon. Now I make bacon out of carrots. So it took some time to
Wow.
learn how to do all these things, but and now I will
Wow.
tell you, it's if you think you're gonna be biting into this carrot bacon and it's gonna give you the exact resemblance of bacon, no, no, it's bacon is bomb. Bacon tastes good.
Right.
The devil, he knows how to cook. He knows how to put his feet in everything he makes. It's good. Them
Hmm.
little Debbie's cupcakes and devil's food cakes and all that. It's tasty.
Yeah.
But yeah, this carrot bacon, I just put a little liquid smoke on it, maple syrup. There's things you can do to at least replicate some of what actually the devil, what he did is he stole the Most High's ideas that he already had, from us. Because if you think about meat, you season meat with herbs. Without herbs, you would hate the way meat even tastes. You wouldn't even
Right.
want to eat it.
Right. That's
So
facts.
yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, I make my own vegan meat, which is only 5 ingredients. And so that's why we're able to get a double burger. Because I gotta compete. I'm competing with McDonald's, Burger
Yeah.
King, all these other places. So yeah, we want to definitely be putting foods out there that we love, that we can still enjoy.
Absolutely, absolutely. I just wanted to get that out there because I thought that was funny, because it clearly says that it's a meatless burger. So I was like, I wonder how she makes the bacon. And then there's
Yeah.
another area where you kind of go through what you actually put in the bacon. So I thought that was kind of unique. Tell us about the foods that you prepare, and do you have like a catering service? How does that all work?
I do it all from my home, from my lovely home. So I'm basically blessed that I'm able to work from home. I'm in Oklahoma. The good thing about it is if you're dealing with fresh fruits and vegetables, it's totally legal for you to produce baked goods or fruits and vegetables from your house. So you don't even necessarily have to get a food truck. You don't have to really have a restaurant, although those would be some goals, but the truth of the matter, I enjoy being at home because I'm still on my healing journey as well. It wasn't my intent to work fast food. I just enjoy doing what I do. I see a lot of these food trucks and they're busy, they're moving, they're doing a lot. I actually believe in quality over quantity. So
Mm.
I'm not trying to break the bank per se. I want to get out some quality foods that people can eat and enjoy. So yeah, I do everything from my kitchen, from my own home, and I just enjoy being able to heal myself as well. While I'm doing that. So
That's very interesting. I had years ago, I was very ill, and someone, actually an elder from Oklahoma, I was doing a podcast. I felt like the only thing I can do is try to talk. So I did a podcast, and elder she just called in and she said, "Hey, um, the Most High told me to reach out to you." And we wind up having this long conversation off air, and it got so heavy that some of the simplest things, it opened up so many doors to how depressed that I actually was. And that was the result of, me going after particular foods, so, that I find it very interesting. My transition to making a journey to eating healthy was based on training my taste buds.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yes,
so initially in the beginning, I didn't, I would tell people, they would see me eating healthy stuff, but I would say, I don't like this. But I actually took time to realize what it does for me, so I love it. But I don't like it, but I actually love it. It's just a weird thing. It's like you begin to, have a strong connection with it once you realize what it's actually doing for you.
facts,
Yeah.
facts. And there's a Bible verse that says I discipline my body and bring it under subjection
Yeah.
to me because you're right. When you're cutting out certain things, your body's going to be screaming. And actually, what those are is parasites
Yep.
in your body because keep in mind,
Yep.
parasites are creatures. And creatures have a mind of their own. They have their own brains, their own stomach, things like that. But these creatures are living in your body. So now what they're trying to do is you're trying to tell yourself, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna start good. I'm gonna eat an apple. And when
Yeah,
you wake up tomorrow and you gonna look at and the parasite's gonna be like, what the hell? Apple.
right.
Like, no, we want a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. Get us that right now. And you really have to go against your own self, when you're
Yeah,
changing your health. So it's not easy. You're
yeah.
Absolutely.
literally fighting parasites in your own body.
I
Oh yeah.
remember, I remember, shout out to Judy. Um, she actually was one of the people who took me to like my first non-meat restaurant. And I
Mm,
was like, I'm not gonna like this. This is gonna be terrible. But now whenever I go home and visit Jersey, if I could connect with her and she could take me to that spot, I love to go there. So it's just a matter of making preparing the food and giving it some kind of a
yes.
flavor. It may
Right.
not be exactly what you're used to tasting in terms of the meat product, but it's
Mm,
it's it's something that I can acquire a taste for it. So those people who've never tried it before, you don't knock it before you give it a shot. Particularly though, it does matter who's preparing it for you and how they're preparing it. Because she turned me on to, that you can cut down on meat even if you just can't really stop cold turkey
yes.
right away. You got to get started somewhere. So I appreciate her for doing that for me. One other question that I wanted to ask you was, um, are you able to do like large events, or is it more just, a one-off ordering? And how do folks get to you if they were open or if they were trying to place an order with you?
I do everything from Facebook, so they know how to get in touch with me. I typically just post my menu on Facebook, and they basically get a hold of me that way. They can message me. Some of my customers have my phone number, so I get people messaging me on the daily, just looking for something healthy to put in their bodies. So yeah, it's not really hard because we're sick, we're struggling, we're suffering, and so there's so many people. Actually, there's not enough healers in my city. It really gets
Mhm.
overwhelming because I can't do everything myself. I do have some things in the work. I do have some things coming that would allow me to get more of the healing out. So stay tuned for that. I'm not gonna give everything away, but I do have some things in place because, like I said, it can be overwhelming. I stepped away for a while a few years ago, just because I was overwhelmed. But God kind of gave me a Jonah experience. He said, "No, you're getting
That's
right
right.
back where you need to be."
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, we're in it to win it. But basically, they can just get a hold of me. I do everything right now through Facebook. So
Are your orders like anywhere in the states? Can anybody anywhere order any? Because I know, like with natural foods, they don't have a lot of preservatives and things of that nature. So, like we're here in Jersey, will you do like overnight shipping or something like that?
yeah, I don't do overnight shipping because the thing with fresh fruits and vegetables, which is what I cook with, once you cut open that fruit or vegetable, it's pretty much ready to be served. Once you slice open an apple, you don't have long before it starts to brown.
Right.
So
Right.
I make everything fresh by order.
Right.
So yeah, everything is pretty much fresh. I don't ship, but I do welcome people, to my home, and that's pretty much where everyone comes is, to my house to pick up whatever it is they need. I got somebody coming in a little bit. She's because I do like a vegan deli. So I make my own meat. They come pick up their meat and take it home, use it for the
Wow.
week, things of that nature. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That is so inspiring. I mean, when you talk about this these titles that was put on our podcast, self empowerment and self love, I can hear the love and see the love that you have for yourself. I think that's crucial when we talk about going to school and getting training. You can't get trained to love yourself.
Mm-mm.
That it's a journey that you have to
Here-
find. And I like your answer to Daryl's question. There's no greater teacher, than the Most High. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? So, I appreciate it and respect you for responding to that call. And just to let you know about your time off, it happens to each and every one of us. You take a little minute, and that's important. That's imperative that we take time for ourselves.
for
And
sure.
and if it doesn't, when it happens, I've gotten accustomed to knowing that this is my sign from the universe to let me know that I'm still necessary. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, so if everything is always on the high,
Mhm.
you got to kind of look for something that might be broke. Something might not be doing right. So I take those off times, even though we have the human side to it, but I take those off times as a genuine moment of connection and inspiration from the Most High. Like, this is
Yeah.
just between me and the Most High. Like, this ain't between me and a consumer or a customer,
Oh,
a friend, a family member, none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and another thing, when you mention, this natural medicine that works for you, um, I'm not, the top shape, in shape looking guy, you know what I'm saying? But I do eat healthy. Down laughing, but you know what I'm saying? Like, and so when I, make rare attendance at a family function or something like that, people will ask me, you know, uh like diabetics, they would ask me, what would be good for them and this and that. And you know, my thing is, I could tell you anything that may have worked for me or somebody else,
mm,
but people have to really, really get serious about taking the time to learn their body and their system and what works for you as an individual. I find that that's a disconnect. You know,
amen.
taking my advice is one thing, but taking your own time into learning yourself that's imperative. It's like we have to become our own doctors.
Amen.
We can't just depend on just trying to get a quick fix from somebody. Take time and research what this thing is and what it can do for you, not just what I'm telling you, but go and research it. And what I found for me is that when I did that, when I was, receiving things, when I researched it, I actually empowered it. You know what I'm saying? And I made a connection for it to actually work within my system. So,
Yeah.
again, I love what it is that you're doing. We had to get you on. We feel that you are you know a superhero. I don't know if you're going to accept that title, but what, and I told Daryl this before. What does a person that deals with superfoods, what what do you call a person that deals with superfoods, super medicine? Everything is super. You're a superhero. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
You're a
you.
superhero. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You
Yes.
know.
It's beautiful though, because she Ashanti, you do a beautiful job at connecting the scripture
Yeah.
to real life eating habits. So that's so simplified for people
Mhm.
to understand. Um,
Yeah.
if
Thank
they
you.
really want to make that change, that is, that's a beautiful piece that, I applaud you for. That's something that is kind of unique that people can actually take scripture and kind of use that as the example in terms of how they're educating themselves and hopefully will educate others. So I applaud you for
Yeah.
that. That's amazing and
Oh
it's
yeah.
beautiful. And I thank you for coming on the show with us today. It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Oh
Thank
yeah.
you. I
Oh
truly
yeah.
appreciate y'all for having me. And I'm glad the Kings are waking up, coming around, taking their diets back because that really was the missing element that's coming together. When I first started this, 95% of my customers were women. And now that I've come back, which is kind of crazy, it's still not a whole lot of men, but at least 30 to 40% of my customers are men now. So I definitely see the Most High doing some things in the area. And I also have some things coming for the men as well. So yeah, I
Yeah.
Shout out
appreciate
to
you
the
guys
brothers,
for
man, for
that.
coming back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
Because we talk a lot about having, some episodes under which we or in which we would like to educate men and bring them into to better health and better
Yeah.
mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health for men. That's something that me and King Henry we talk about a lot as one
Mhm.
of our platforms, and both of us have had our own experiences as to why we know we're blessed by the Most High, but we also know that we have a message to deliver on our journey. And like King Henry said, we don't necessarily have the script, the prescription for you, but we could tell you what we did. And
Right.
that'll give you at least a blueprint of how you need to start and where you need to start looking to heal yourself, similar to what you did when you brought the scripture into play. This is
Thank
how you learned, this is what you know, and from there, that's the blueprint. So, again, I applaud you, sister, for all the work you're doing.
thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you so much, God. It's I wish I lived closer. I would be right there. Like, hey,
I'm coming out to
give me
Oklahoma to
give
get
me
me
Come
one of
some.
on
those.
out. Come
Believe
Yeah.
visit.
that. I'm coming out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's been great. And it shines through your aura. You can see that you
Absolutely.
actually are aligned with everything that you,
Thank
because
you.
you got some people out there that still, they talk it but they don't actually
I
digest it
agree.
themselves.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's good to see that you actually are aligned with your product and your talk. And like Daryl said, there's a spiritual alignment with it as well. So that's a beautiful thing. Thank you so
For sure.
much for joining us here. I guess we can give your Facebook contact one more time. I know it was going across the screen.
Hmm. Yep, look me up, y'all. Especially if you're in the Tulsa area, Oklahoma City, Muskogee. Come on out. We got some good stuff for you. So yeah, for sure.
Oklahoma, we not just dealing with natural medicine, we dealing with self-empowerment, self-love, you know what I'm saying? Contact the sister, get that natural medicine, and you're gonna get you're not I'm about to make a commercial. You're not just getting natural medicine. You know what I'm saying? You getting scripture.
Absolutely.
You getting wisdom. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So you're not just getting like just a quick fix. This is wake up time. Like you said, you know what I'm saying? So thank you for doing what you do, and much bliss to you. Continue to go. We will be following you on Facebook.
Please.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I'm charged right now. I'm about to go downstairs and hook something up. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
I'm done with meat for the
saying?
day, man. I'm done with meat
I
for the
applaud you
day.
Yeah.
guys on your journey as well. It's wonderful. Keep teaching. Like you said, your family asking, and you don't have to be fit and shape. The skinniest, because when you look at anything skinny in nature, anyway, it's usually sick. So when you're eating right, you're gonna be pretty healthy. So it's
Right.
okay.
Absolutely.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I appreciate that comment. You know what I'm saying? Them words of encouragement. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yo, we
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
it. We love it. We love it. This is beautiful. Anytime the energy and the frequency is up in a show like this is that, that's powerful. Can't wait to have people look at this and learn and get healthy. That's the main thing.
Oh
Health
yeah.
is wealth.
Healthy.
Okay, we got that question to pop up. Before we get out of here, every podcast we always ask the interviewee. I know you poured it on us, but we gonna ask you to give, any last words, on this podcast today. Any words of encouragement, wisdom, any jewels that you can give to the listeners and the viewers.
Sure, yeah. I would just encourage you to love on yourself. That's the main purpose of this journey. It's not about being vegan or vegans versus meat eaters or things of that nature. It's just all about loving yourself. We have to understand we've been warred upon for years upon years for a long time. All these secrets that the Most High gave us were stolen from us, and we're just now retaining these secrets back, within the last few years. So love yourself. It's a long journey. That's why they call it a self-love journey. You're going to be slowly, you know putting things off and adding things into your life, and it's life changing, it's mentally changing. But first it has to start with you loving your body enough to say no more, talking to your body, saying, body, I'm sorry for the years of abuse that I put up on you. And it's manifesting itself through different things like diseases and things that come inflicted upon us. But once you start loving yourself, genuinely valuing yourself, laying aside not even just the food, but also things you're putting on your body, people you're dealing with, people that can be toxic around you, that's bringing stress. Stress is the number one cause of death. You want to make sure that everything about yourself is healthy. You want to be in a healthy environment. And it just starts simply from saying, I love myself. You know, it's kind of hard to look in the mirror and tell yourself that, but just start doing that every day, naked, preferably. Looking at yourself and telling yourself, I love every part of me. I'm going to honor every part of me, and just start honoring your body, and then the Most High will do the rest. Because we don't even have to read the Bible. Actually, the Bible tells us that the Word of God lives in us already. So you can be, you know, without the Bible, but that Spirit is still going to speak to you. So just honor yourself at the end of the day.
Divine wisdom right there.
Wow, that was powerful. That was
Div-
probably one of the best we've heard. And wow, thank you, sister.
Oh
That was
yeah.
powerful.
Oh
Don't
yeah.
forget to get naked when you do those empowerment things
Very
too. You know,
important.
talk to the whole entire self. That's important.
Stretch
Yeah.
marks and all.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So until next time, you know, we definitely have to bring you back.
For sure.
I mean, you, and especially, you know, you just said a mouthful right now. You know, I mean,
Absolutely.
that's a whole nother conversation you done opened up right there. You know what I'm saying? So again, thank you so much. Continue your journey. Much bliss to you. Again, everybody, reach out to this sister. You will not be disappointed. Reach out to her, man, on Facebook. Until next time, we out of here. King Henry, Darryl Divine Finley, Time Talkers Podcast.
Absolutely. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for the next episode of Time Talkers Podcast. Peace. We out.